Hey, it's been a while. All aboard toxic gossip train. You got a one-way ticket to manipulation station. I wondered, does Colleen Ballinger do anything other than inappropriately message children in group chats?
Turns out she does do much more than chat. She also sends nudes to them, trauma dumps her relationship and marriage problems to them. She asks them sexual questions. She has like this mean girl attitude with some of them and then like starts beef with a minor, with other minors, like talking smack. It's just weird. And then apparently people in her own circle were like talking inappropriately to minors, so it's like they're using her clout to kind of do the same thing. And this is also weird because why are they doing that? Is it because, you know, it's like they want to use them for their labor and then also get like this weird connection with minors, and it's just weird that they're all together doing it. Honestly, I wanted to hop on the toxic gossip train a lot sooner, but like as it kept going, it kept getting juicier and juicier, and there was nowhere for me to like jump onto it, and eventually I just got lost in the sauce of everything because there is so much stuff going on, and it's like it just never ended. Most of the things that I saw were kind of along the lines of like racist, mean, and inappropriate relationships with minors. A triple threat. So I think that this combination of traits just made her very dislikable. And I think that's like a big reason for like all the hate she's getting, aside from everything else, right? It's this, I think she receives so much hate because it's this, she just has this weird mix of not only those three character traits, she's like a kid's content creator, you know, and it's just a weird mix between why does she love doing sexual jokes, right? And always playing with that stuff, but then she's appealing to kids, right? Or in her words, PG-13, right? Which is, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17 is still kids, right? And I wouldn't doubt it if there was a lot of kids younger than 13 that were watching her, and she knows it. I'm sure she sees her crowds, right? But I don't know, but that's just what I'm assuming. And then in all this came like the racial stuff, which at best is like racially insensitive stuff, and then at worst just kind of racist, I guess. Like that's what you could assume about her based off the things that have come out. For example, early in her career, a video resurfaced that I think she already apologized for, of her and her sister acting like, I guess, Mexican people doing a rap about how they want to cross the border, or about crossing the border and working at Del Taco, and it was just like, you know, they did what they perceived to be like their best Mexican accents and did like super high eyebrows.
I'm Rosa, this is my cousin. We work at the taco together. Across the border, I went to borders.
They were playing stereotypical caricatures. So the video resurfaces, she apologizes for that, whatever. If one thing happens, you figure, oh, okay, you know what, maybe they messed up and they learn from there. And some people will forgive them, some people won't, and it's all good. But then in 2012, again, and I think the apology was in 2020, so it's kind of after all these things, but still, there seems to be like a pattern of this type of stuff. In 2012, she made that Gangnam Style video, which she basically was speaking her version of fake Korean the whole time while she was singing. And it's just kind of like that basic, you know, stereotypical racist joke of like, oh, I'm gonna do like what I think this Asian language sounds like, and she just did that the entire song. The Rolling Stones article said that there was this Jason Derulo song that was out, and then it had like this Asian woman that's, you know, giggled Derulo's name, and she decided to do the same, except she would have her sister say her name, like in her best quote-unquote Asian accent, I guess you could say. I couldn't see that. I tried to watch the video, but I didn't see anything like that up front. And then somebody in the comments said that she edited that part out. So she's aware. People are looking through her stuff. So I've been on YouTube a long time, and I remember back in the day, a lot of the videos, this was like the type of humor. People would just be making racially insensitive jokes, you know, like just using stereotypes as jokes. However, unfortunately for Colleen, it was in 2016 that some stuff came out about her while she was working on Netflix. And this is bad for two reasons, in my opinion. Of course, it was never fine to begin with, but it's one thing to be like, you know, that was then, right? I've learned from that. We've all learned as a society and moved on from that, and this is now. But it was 26. I feel like 2016 is like well after when you should know better, especially because she's, you know, she's not a child, you know, she's a fully grown adult. And also The stuff that came out in 2016 was the Netflix stuff about her show Haters Back Off. This was like behind the scenes stuff. So this was like not even acting. Somebody who was working for her reported that she was she was talking about another creator that had used the N-word with a hard R and laughed about said something to the extent of, oh, like what an idiot, that she would never be caught saying something like that. So it's like, that's not a good look in any way, shape, or form. And she said it too, which, she said the N-word in context of talking about that creator. But at the same time, given the pattern, you got to wonder, okay, yeah, technically, you might have been looking for that opportunity to say it. You know what I'm saying? She might have, maybe she was, I wasn't there, but maybe she was a little too enthusiastic to say it. I don't know. But she said it. And then on top of it, she said that she would never get caught. Apparently, Colleen also brushed off any criticism of her cast being predominantly white as it just happens to be that, all the white people were the best people for the job, or all the best people for the job were white, which can happen, but in context of everything else, it starts forming this picture. In a Yahoo article, it stated that Colleen was shown this Asian food market that was going to be redressed as a bodega, and Colleen said, "Get that Asian shit out of there." Again, it's just it's just the pattern thing, right? It's just this attitude towards it. And then lastly, in 2018, there was this video resurfacing that appeared to be Colleen doing blackface to Beyonce. The song is All the Single Ladies. Hilariously, her PR team reached out and was like, actually, that was green face. Colleen was doing this bit earlier where she painted her face green, and then she just happened to come out and do All the Single Ladies as Beyonce later in the show. That might be true, but you got to make your own judgments based off what you're seeing. You got to be aware of that, right? That's not a good idea regardless. Even if you didn't have any of this history, given her history and given this sense of this attitude towards people of color, I don't know, you got to make your own judgment is what I'm saying. And it's funny that her PR team reached out in this poop storm of stuff that's coming out about her. It's that's the one thing. It's actually, technically, that was green face. Okay, that was green face. I don't know why. As soon as I saw that, it reminded me of this episode of this that Chris Hansen To Catch a Predator show where this guy, was coming here to meet an underage girl, and then he's saying, "Oh, we're just come here to watch a football game," and Chris Hansen goes, "Who's playing tonight?" And then he gives the two teams as if that's gonna get out of him, ignoring the poop, the shitstorm of everything.
And watch football.
Watch football.
Yep.
Who's playing tonight?
Steelers and the Ravens. I had no intentions with nothing.
There's all these things that are coming about Colleen and her past, and that's the one thing they decide to address, which even that's pretty questionable. And then Colleen seems, again, I'm gonna miss some stuff, but Colleen seems mean also. She's mean for, it sounded kind of bullying kids. I mean, that's one thing. Adam McIntyre actually said he felt groomed by Colleen. And then he was mean to Trisha Wright, sending them nudes and making fun of her body, even though she's supposed to be her friend, which is kind of two-faced. Which kind of goes in line with the whole I wouldn't be caught saying the N-word and making fun of somebody for getting caught and not actually being who would say that? So it's I'm this person, right? She's this, and I think that's part of the reason that contributed to people hating her so much and this story gaining so much traction is because publicly she's one person, and then privately she seems to be this completely other person that has these negative attributes, I guess you could say, is putting it lightly. Trisha was supposed to be her friend, and she was not even that long ago sending those nudes to minors, making fun of her, which is wrong in so many ways. She was kind of bullying Adam McIntyre and seemed to have singled out some of her fans that were in her private DMs or chat groups or whatever you want to call them. And there's this interview with Shane Dawson that's resurfacing where he's saying she's a gossiper and da-da-da-da and saying these negative things about her, and then of course saying, but I love her for it, that's why she's so cool. And then obviously she's had this strange relationship with kids, that's what got her into that. And then to top it all off, she comes out with a toxic gossip train. So it's all that. She's just like, that's just a bunch of gossip. That's just a bunch of toxic gossip. I just want to speak about the facts. What facts? The fact that this train is going and it's going in a bad. She addressed nothing. But I'm sorry. This is super late. These are just my general thoughts. I was looking into it a little more, and honestly, I got lost just because there was so much stuff coming out. There's really good videos out. If you want to hear something that's like a primary source, a first-hand source, listen to the H3 podcast. They had some of those kids at the time that were in Colleen's circles. So, yeah, I mean, to me it makes sense why she's catching all this hate, given who she portrayed herself as, given that she was like a kid's or a younger. Let's be real, she was a kid's content creator, and then she's just like mean, inappropriately weird and sexual with kids. I'm just remembering like she had a picture where she made them all put tampons in their mouths. Like there's so much stuff I forget. What I say, mean, word with kids, and seemingly racist. So pretty awful, not traits or ideas you want instilled in the minds of the youth. I probably won't touch this topic again just because it's been covered so well by everybody, but I just wanted to give some of my thoughts. I mean, unless more stuff comes out, because it honestly seems like it's nonstop. Like I just saw recently that, I don't know if Colleen did it or if somebody else did it, but they like put Toxic Gossip Train, made it into like a song, and then I don't know if it was on Apple Music or some other place, but then they were like claiming videos. Again, I don't know if that's Colleen, or I haven't really looked into that. Like I say, it just keeps going on and on and on. Glad that like the story is out and they don't have to feel like they have to, like, they're not heard or anything like that. I'm glad, and I hope that they feel supported. I feel like that's the most important part. But yeah, if you like the video, don't forget to like it. If you want to see more, subscribe. Peace out.
Acid train, you do it. This is fucking stupid.